Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a real legal case that's drawing attention from both Vietnamese and international audiences. This is the lawsuit between Vietnamese singer Đàm Vinh Hung and Gerard Williams, the husband of singer Bich Thuyen. Taking place in California, United States, Đàm Vinh Hung claims he was seriously injured during a performance at Mr. Williams's private residence. And he's asking for $50 million in damages, saying the homeowner failed to keep the area safe. But here's where it gets controversial. Mr. Williams says he did nothing wrong, and that Đàm Vinh Hung caused the accident himself by climbing onto a decorative structure that was never meant to be used. In today's video, we'll show you the actual video footage of the incident, and then we'll break it down legally, based on California civil law. To answer the big question, who's truly responsible, and what would the U.S. court decide? Let's get into it. 1. The incident in California. Đàm Vinh Hung's on-stage accident. On February 19, 2024, Vietnamese singer Đàm Vinh Hung was invited to perform at a Lunar New Year celebration held at the private residence of Gerard Richard Williams III and his wife, singer Bich Thuyen, in Newport Coast, California, USA. During his performance, Đàm Vinh Hung stepped down from the main stage, approached a decorative pond area, and climbed onto a concrete ornamental bowl placed on a pedestal inside the pond, presumably to create a dramatic performance moment. However, the structure was not designed to support body weight, and it collapsed, causing him to fall and suffer a serious foot injury, including fractures in 3 toes. He was hospitalized in the U.S. and had to cancel multiple shows both in Vietnam and abroad. 2. Demand for compensation. The lawsuit begins. After the accident, Đàm Vinh Hung blamed the homeowner for not ensuring guest safety and initially demanded $15 million USD in compensation. According to media reports, his claim amount changed multiple times. First he demanded $15 million, then reduced it to $5 million, later raised it to $20 million, and at one point claimed up to $50 million USD. Citing permanent injury and career damage. Unable to reach a settlement, Đàm Vinh Hung officially filed a lawsuit against Mr. Williams in Orange County Superior Court, California, in late October 2024. 3. The response. Bich Thuyen's family counters. Singer Bich Thuyen and her husband strongly denied responsibility. They said they had already paid over $100 USD in medical expenses for Đàm Vinh Hung after the accident. But after being sued, they felt insulted and betrayed, especially since the injury was caused by his own decision to climb a decorative structure without instruction or permission. In December 2024, Mr. Gerard Williams filed a countersuit, demanding a public apology and symbolic damages of $2 USD, 1 for property damage, 1 for reputation. 4. Đàm Vinh Hung withdraws his lawsuit, but the court says no. On December 4, 2024, Đàm Vinh Hung made a public statement saying he had decided to withdraw his lawsuit, expressing a desire to end the dispute peacefully after speaking with Mr. Williams. However, because Mr. Williams had already filed a formal counterclaim, the California court rejected the dismissal request, right-pointing arrow as a result. The case continues under the court's jurisdiction, with both parties now in an active legal dispute. 5. Public opinion and legal outlook. Đàm Vinh Hung argued that the injury caused permanent damage and affected his career as a performer. Mr. Williams argued that Đàm Vinh Hung climbed the structure on his own. No one instructed or encouraged him to do so, and the item was clearly decorative and not meant for performance use. Legal experts say Đàm Vinh Hung's chance of winning is very slim, because the action was unreasonable and self-caused, and no negligence can be proven on the part of the homeowner. Under California Civil Code Section 1714a, if a person is injured due to their own lack of ordinary care, they cannot hold others liable for damages. 6. Current status of the case. The court has denied Đàm Vinh Hung's motion to dismiss the lawsuit. The legal process continues in California. Both parties have retained lawyers and are preparing for trial. If Đàm Vinh Hung loses, he may be required to publicly apologize and cover court costs and legal fees. which could amount to tens of thousands of dollars. Checkmark conclusion. This is a complex civil dispute involving personal responsibility and the homeowner's duty to maintain a safe environment for guests. But in American courts, the final decision will depend not on emotion or reputation, but on legal facts and evidence. Right finger. We now wait for a ruling from the California Superior Court, which will decide who is truly at fault and who must take legal responsibility. Earlier, you watched the full video capturing the moment when singer Dam Vin Hung stepped off the main stage, walked onto the edge of a decorative pond, then used both hands and full body strength to pull himself up and sit on a concrete ornamental bowl placed in the middle of that pond. Shortly after, the bowl collapsed, causing him to fall and suffer a serious leg injury. Balance scale. Under California civil law, where this incident occurred, we refer to Section 1714(a) of the California Civil Code, which clearly states, everyone is responsible, not only for the result of his or her willful acts, but also for an injury occasioned to another by his or her want of ordinary care or skill, except when the person has brought the injury upon themselves through their own lack of care. Pushpin. Breaking down the elements under Section 1714(a). Dam Vin Hung was the one who performed a dangerous act entirely on his own. No one forced him, and no one instructed him to climb. The object he climbed on was purely decorative, not a stage, and not designed to bear weight. His action was not reasonable within the context of a performance. Therefore, he violated his own duty of self-care, as defined under the legal standard of a reasonable person in California law. According to the exception clause in Section 1714(a), if someone causes injury to themselves through carelessness, they have no legal right to claim damages from others. Checkmark. What would a California court likely decide? The court has grounds to dismiss Dam Vin Hung's $50 million lawsuit, because under Section 1714(a), he was the sole cause of the accident. Mr. Gerard Williams, the homeowner, has no legal liability, as no negligence on his part has been proven. Repeat button. On the other hand, Mr. Williams's counterclaim, requesting a public apology and symbolic compensation of $2 USD. Right pointing arrow may be approved by the court if it finds that Dam Vinh Hung's lawsuit was legally unfounded and damaged the reputation of the homeowner. Brain in conclusion, this case is a textbook example of someone causing risk to themselves through unreasonable behavior. And under Section 1714(a) of the California Civil Code, there is no legal basis to hold others liable in such a situation. From the analysis above, we can clearly see the law in the United States, especially in California, is clear and fair. If someone voluntarily engages in a dangerous act, and it leads to injury to themselves, then they must take responsibility for that outcome. There is no legal basis to demand compensation from others for a risk they created themselves. In this case, even though the injured party is a well-known celebrity, when the wrong action comes from the very beginning, the law still applies fairly and firmly, without bias. Right finger. What do you think about Dam Vinh Hung's actions? Right finger. If you were the judge in a California court, how would you rule? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts.